Royals and Orioles needed 11 innings last night to decide Game 1. The Orioles ended a 5-game losing streak. The Royals will try to do the same tonight in Game 2. Hi everyone, welcome back to the ballpark with Royals Hall of Famer Frank White. I'm Ryan Lefevre, and tonight is Law Enforcement Night at Kauffman Stadium, so we'll have several members of law enforcement from Kansas City at the ballpark. We hope they have a good time, and to honor them, all of us on Fox Sports Kansas City are wearing golf shirts with the badge of the Fraternal Order of Police. In today's game, Frank, if a bullpen is having a tough stretch, your team is having a tough stretch, and the Royals in the second half in the bullpen have had a tough time. They've also had a heavy workload.
I think it goes back to the workload, and you go back to quality starts. If the Royals quality starts are up, then the bullpen is usually pretty good. Going into the All-Star break, they were good. Now the quality starts have gone down. They've been asking the bullpen to get too many outs, and if you keep them to 6 outs, they usually pitch very well. But lately, they've been trying to get 2 innings and out of each one of those guys down there, and when you stretch them out like that, you're just not going to get the same result.
So the Royals hoping for a long outing tonight from Sean O'Sullivan.
Well, got to have a strong outing from Sean, and they'd love to get 7 innings out of him. The bullpen would definitely take him out to dinner after that. But he's got a sneaky fastball, great changeup, pitches down in the zone, and he had great poise on the mound.
Jake Arrieta is pitching for the Orioles, a rookie. First time the Royals will see him. The Royals have done well this year against rookies in the American League.
Wade Davis has pitched well against the Royals, but the Royals have been able to take advantage of everyone else as a rookie. And what you try to do with rookies is they're nervous. You try to play on that. You try to take them out of their game early, and the Royals have been able to do that.
With Scott Podsednik on, the Royals are still looking for a regular leadoff man. Last night it was Willie Bloomquist against a left-hand pitcher. Tonight it's Chris Getz against a righty. We'll talk about the Orioles offense when we come back. And there is a heavy thunderstorm that is just to the north of Kansas City. We might get the bottom edge of it and some light rain. There's a few drops that are falling at the moment, but the good news is no sign of the grounds crew. Betancourt runs, and the hit and run worked to perfection. Down into the left field corner. Betancourt is going to be waved home. PA has trouble in the corner, and the Royals have regained the lead.
That's an excellent piece of hitting by Mitch Myers. A fastball up away, and he went right with this pitch right inside the third base line. Betancourt's running all the way. PA has a hard time picking it first, getting it up on the first grab, and Unedited was able to continue across home plate. There's the ball running away from Mitch. Mitch did a great job. And you see PA right here, off the heel of his glove. Did it. When you mishandle that deep in the outfield, that's 90 feet right there automatically.
Now, if that was basketball, that was a nice little move there. You know, hit the ball with your glove through the legs, grab it on the other side.
Just can't shoot. A great piece of hitting right there.
So Mitch drives in his 28th. And now Chris Getz will at least try and get him over to third base. Popped up, shallow right center, long run in for Jones. And that is not deep enough to advance Myers, so Chris Getz is 0 for 4.
I know a lot of times you don't like the call a sacrifice bunt, but when you get in that situation there, you're just taking the lead. You got a man on second base, and you don't know if you can pull the ball when you want to pull the ball, and that's when you take advantage of some of your skills. And Chris Getz had those bunting skills that he can take advantage of, and that would have been really appropriate right there to get Mitch over to third base.
And such a good bunter that he's a good bet to get a base hit when he lays down a bunt.
Especially when he drags the ball to second base. He was pulled. You know, Scott hadn't had a lot of time at first base, so you get him to leave, vacate that bag, you might get you a base hit.
So Meyer at second, 1 out. Jason Kendall 0 for 2. He has scored a run after reaching with a walk back in the first inning. A strike to Kendall. So 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning, but then 4 frustrating innings for the Royals. And they stranded 6 in innings 2, 3, 4, and 5. But another run answering the Orioles' run in the top of the 6th to go back out in front. Line to short, and Myers back to the bag. Jason Birkin tonight allowed more runs in 2/3 of an inning than the Orioles bullpen did last night in 7 2/3 innings. That was really a key for Baltimore, as starter Brian Mattis came out after 3 1/3 innings. He gave up all 5 of the runs, but the bullpen really picked him up. 7 2/3 scoreless. Now the Orioles will walk Billy Butler and try and set up a force at every base with Jose Guillen coming up. They are playing the chicken dance song in between every pitch. So with the implication that the Orioles are being chickens here by not pitching to Billy Butler.
They're playing the odds. I know Billy has great plate coverage. He can use both ends, both sides of the field, but you pitch it into the best run producer also. With one swing, he can break this game wide open.
Jose had been 0 for 9 after his flyout in the 3rd inning, but led off the 5th inning with a double, went to 3rd on a wild pitch. It was his 300th career double, but after getting to 3rd with 1 out, did not come home. Strike 1 from Birkin.
Back in the 5th inning, this is what he's capable of right here. Just stand on top of a fastball and drives it right off the right field wall. That's a lot of strength right there. And just missed on one to left center field also, just on the end of the bat. So he has the kind of power that he's a game breaker type swing.
And a game breaking type swing right there, but he missed. No balls, 2 strikes. No swing. James Hoy is still umpiring at first. Right now, the umpiring crew has been reduced to 3. Wally Bell had to leave the game in the middle of the top of the 6th inning. So Laz Diaz is at second base. James Hoy is at first. Todd Tishner behind the plate. Right now, no one is umpiring at 3rd. Right center field, Adam Jones is there, and that's the inning. But the Royals regain the lead on Mitch Myers' double. 4-3 Royals to the top of the 8th inning. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Miguel Cabrera leads the Tigers into Boston to take on Kevin Youkilis and the Red Sox. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Taco Bell, returns this week at 3 p.m. Central. Kyle Farnsworth, who turned in an inning and a 3rd scoreless last night with a couple of strikeouts, comes on in the 8th inning with a 1-run lead. So Farnsworth gets the 8th inning after Blake Wood was called up from AAA. That was his role for a while, and then Robinson Tejeda had pitched the 8th inning on a few occasions. Tejeda giving up a game-tying home run last night, and now Farnsworth gets the 8th, and he misses inside to Nick Markakis. Markakis has scored twice, on base with a single and a walk, and that's grounded into center field for a leadoff base hit. And Taco Bell will show us the pitch location on the delivery to Markakis.
Let's see right here, Farnsworth moves this ball out over the middle of the plate. Had some run to it, but it ran right in the middle of the plate, and Markakis drove it right back through the middle.
So Markakis on 3 times tonight. Last time up was a leadoff walk, and he came around to score. And Ty Wigginton takes strike 1. Wigginton has 2 hits. Drove in a run with a double in the 3rd inning. We got word on home plate umpire Wally Bell, who had to leave in the top of the 6th inning. He left because of heat exhaustion. Butler and Getz over near the dugout suite, and Billy, look out, almost went into the suite. The ball is in and out, and the count is 0-2 on Wigginton.
It's all about me.
Yeah. So anyway, Wally Bell left the game because of heat exhaustion. The good news is Royals head trainer Nick Kenny reports that his vitals were stable. He will not return. And just to play it safe and for further observation, he has been transferred to a local hospital. Wally Bell had to leave the game in the middle of the top of the 6th inning. Okay, let me take that back. The announcement was he was not transferred to a local hospital. So even better news. And that's into right center field. There is nobody there. Nick Markakis is on his way to 3rd base. Gary Allenson is going to wave him home. The Orioles have tied the game for the 2nd night in a row in the 8th inning. Big night for Ty Wigginton. That's his 3rd hit and his 2nd RBI double.
Like I say, Ryan, he's really been hitting the ball where it's pitched, and here's like a little cutter that Kyle left right out over the plate up, and he did a good job just staying right with it, and he drove this ball into right center field, and it couldn't be cut off. Goes all the way to the wall, and Markakis is able to score from first base on this play. He hits 3rd base and never breaks stride.
So the Royals have suffered blown saves in the first 2 games of the series, and now 15 on the year. So runner at 2nd, nobody out, and now Luke Scott lines it into left field. So 3 have come to the plate against Farnsworth. All 3 have reached, and runners at 1st and 3rd, nobody out. And that base hit for Luke Scott puts an end to an 0 for 13. Well, there's a lot of pressure on spots like this one. Set up to the closer. Of course, there is no pressure like the 9th inning, but right behind it is the pressure of the 8th inning. And Farnsworth has done an excellent job since May, pitching in the 6th, in the 7th. I can't think of many hold opportunities like this. 1 run in the 8th inning where it's been Farnsworth instead of Tejeda or Blakewood, or very early in the season Roman Colon. But there's a difference between the 6th and the 7th, and then the 8th inning and the 9th inning.
Well, Ryan, when you get down to those last 6 outs, it's real tough. The closer you get to winning the game, the tougher it is to win, and that's why it takes a certain kind of guy with a certain kind of mental toughness to be a closer. But the setup guy is not as much pressure, but when you're trying to protect a 1-run lead in the 8th, that can be pressure because you have to get it to the closer. But the bullpen's been extended, and you look down the bullpen now, nobody's up. This is going to be Farnsworth's day, and he's going to have to figure out how to get himself out of this jam.
Jones 0 for 1, on base twice with a walk, and he's been hit by a pitch. He is 0 for his last 11, and that is grounded to Betemeet. It is off of his glove. Everyone is safe, and Baltimore takes the lead. Wigginton was preparing himself. He may have rolled an ankle, but he was preparing himself for a home plate collision. And then when there was no throw, he stumbled across home plate to give Baltimore the lead.
Well, I'm really surprised he even went on this ground ball, Ryan. He was really all confused by this whole play by itself, and even he's got a little smile on his face. But normally, with no outs, you don't run on this play.
A scoreless top of the 9th inning with the Royals down by 1. And now the Royals in the bottom of the 9th with Billy Butler, Jose Guillen, and Rick Ankiel against Alfredo Simon, who saved the game last night. The Royals in the bottom of the 11th had 2 hits, but there was a double play mixed in. The Orioles turned 3 double plays, and Simon picking up his 15th save. He has 2 blown saves on the year. So far, the Orioles bullpen has been outstanding. Seven 2/3 scoreless innings last night after Brian Mattis went 3 1/3. And now 3 2/3 innings tonight, giving up just 1 run. So 1 run allowed in 11 1/3 innings. Raining harder, so some of the fans are moving up for cover as Simon gets ready to pitch to Billy Butler. Inside, ball 1. Game 3 tomorrow at 6:10. Hy-Vee Royals Live with Joel is at 5:30. Zach Greinke against Brad Bergeson. And the final game is on Sunday afternoon. Billy grounds it to short. His Turris picking up a wet baseball and is on target to Luke Scott. So Billy is 1 for 3. Alfredo Simon, he has had quite a journey in professional baseball. Originally from the Phillies organization, and was with them until 2007. In 2003, the Phillies discovered that he was not Carlos Cabrera. He was Alfredo Simon. In 2006, he was one of those Rule 5s you don't hear very much about, that is sent to one team and then eventually returned. Guillen grounds it to short. Raining a little harder, and his Turris throws him out 2 away. In 2006, the Orioles actually picked him up in the Rule 5 from the Rangers, traded him to the Phillies, his original organization, and then returned to the Rangers. So he did all of that in 2007 camp. And now, after Tommy John surgery last year, is a big league closer. Ankiel up the right field line, foul. Whoa. That guy was reaching out over the railing and took a foul ball off of his chin. One ball, one strike on Ankiel.
Yeah, that ball really skipped up along the line. They hit the railing and
ooh. But he kept it off of his lips.
Wow, the nose is so close.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, at some point, I think every male, whether it happens at age 5 like it was for me, or that guy looked like he was about 40, we all get that scar underneath our chin from something. Ankiel with 2 hits, including an RBI double tonight. Inside, and Ankiel really was the biggest out, or 2 outs for Simon last night. But the Royals down by 1 in the 11th. Mike Avila's single, but then Ankiel grounded into a double play. That was big because then Unievsky Betancourt singled, and Simon got Alex Gordon on a line drive. Man, it was more than a line drive. It was a rocket to the first baseman Luke Scott to end the game. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Ankiel with Wilson Betemede on deck.
Rick will be ready to let everything go on this pitch. He's got chances are he's going to get a fastball. That's what Simon really likes to throw in this situation. Don't want to walk him. Don't want to put the go-ahead run on first. Basically go after Rick Ankiel and see what happens in this situation.
He will take a walk. So the tying run at first with 2 down. And up comes Wilson Bedemy. Bedemy did not see Simone last night. This will be the first time he has faced the Orioles closer. At the plate, 2 out of 3, 2 hits, a 2-run single in the first inning, but he committed an expensive error in the top of the 8th, which allowed the Orioles to take the lead. Ground ball past Scott and into right field. Ankiel will go first to third. And it is only appropriate that Alex Gordon comes to the plate.
Wilson does a good job taking advantage of this hole in between second and first. It's a hard ground ball, and this ball gets by Scott. Rick Ankiel's able to go first and third on this base hit. Now Scott dives for it, gets by him, and you see the water coming up off the grass, and this is not going to be an easy ball to throw. And Rick Ankiel's able to go first and third easily.
Willie Bloomquist is going to run for Wilson Bedemy. Well, here's an opportunity for Alex Gordon to get his night right side up. In the first inning, with a runner at second and 2 outs, he flied out. With the bases loaded, 1 out in the third, he struck out. With runners at first and third in the 5th inning, he grounded into a double play. And he has flied out to center field. So he has had opportunities all night. But the Orioles have been 1 step ahead.
It's one of those nights you can wake up in the morning and say, man, I drove in 5 runs. You know, it's quite possible, but the opportunities have been there, and this is the biggest opportunity of the night for Alex Gordon right here.
Remember last night, Alex ended the game with a line drive, a blur to the first baseman Luke Scott. Simone taking his time as a steady rain has been falling. He's been working on the bottom of his spikes to dislodge the clay, and now after grabbing the rosin bag to dry up his right hand, he's ready to go. Ankiel at third, Bloomquist at first, 2 down.
Well, Alex's last at bat hit a long drive to the left center field. Had to put a good swing on the ball, and the ball really jumped off his bat. If he gets his pitch, the Royals could be walking away from this one.
Simone asking for a new baseball. He was doing a lot of work on the last one, and then you can add in the perspiration on a steamy night, trying to find the right grip. He cannot afford to miss with Alex Gordon. Into the right field corner, deep. He does it! Gordon saves the best for last. And with 2 outs and nobody on, the Royals do it again. A walk, a single, and then a walk-off. And Alex hits his 2nd home run of the year, and the Royals end a 5-game losing streak.
Ryan, we talked about Alex having a good swing as to the at-bat before, and all he needed was to get the right pitch, and he's got the ability to end this thing with 1 swing, and that's what he does right here. He gets a fastball, inner half up from Simone, and he hits it in the right field bullpen. So he's been getting closer and closer all the time, and here he is. That's the head beating time right there.
7-5 Royals. Let's go down to the field, and here's Joel.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. Fireworks Friday here at Kauffman Stadium gets an early start with Alex Gordon, the walk-off home run, and the first question he had for me was, do I have a black eye? They got you pretty good in there, huh?
Haven't had a walk-off for a while, so I guess they hit you pretty good when you get to the plate. So I know it felt good, and it's good to get off the losing streak.
All right, you get off the losing streak, the walk-off home run. It was a rough night at the plate for you, and you answer all those questions with one swing of the bat. How's the adrenaline feeling right now?
You know, I just need to step up. You know, I left a lot of guys on base today, and luckily I got a good pitch to hit, and finally did something with it.
All right, take us back through that at bat, your approach, your thought process, and then just what you're thinking as you're running around the bases there with a win.
Well, I wasn't thinking home run. I was just thinking line drive, try to, you know, tie the game up somehow, and it just felt good. Good swing.
All right, how about the frustration that you had earlier in the night? You talked about leaving guys on base. I know you weren't happy with the strikeout and the double play later on, so how about being able to make amends?
Yeah, it definitely worked out at the end, but you know, I felt bad for not picking up my team at first, and luckily we had 9 innings to get it done.
Well, you don't get to see a walk-off home run every single day. What does that feel like, and to be able to do it in front of a really nice crowd here tonight as well?
Well, it's good to be back here. You know, it's been a rough time, but you know, it's good to be back here.
Congratulations, great job.
Thank you.
All right, that is Alex Gordon as he gets a huge ovation here at Kauffman Stadium. We'll have to check guys on that black eye tomorrow because he took a beating from his teammates. I guess that's what happens, guys.
And it's worth it, so good for him. Alex wins it. Oh, and by the way, Blake Wood picks up his first Major League win. So big night for Alex Gordon, a big night for Blake Wood, a big night for the Royals. And we'll be right back.